pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Silent roll call has been taken and a quorum is present.
Approval of the minutes for January 7th, 2019, regular council meeting.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilor Smat and seconded by Councilor Klitsch. Any discussion? All in favor? Petitions, communications, and citizens' requests. Nancy Levitt is here to discuss the Bennett Road intersection. Could you please state your name and residence?
Sure. My name is Nancy Levitt, and I've been a resident of Old Town since 1987. I live at 10 South Spring Street in Stillwater. My comments will take about 4 minutes, and I'd like to read them. I understand that funding has been allocated from the state to rework the intersections of Stillwater Ave at College Ave and Bennett Road, and I and my neighbors will be at the next traffic meeting concerning this upgrade, as we have been at the other meetings that have been held over the last 25 years. But I cannot wait to voice my opinion about the intersection at Stillwater Ave, Franklin Street, and Bennett Road, and the traffic accident that occurred on the evening of Thursday, January 24th, 2019 at 5:17 p.m. I would like to personally thank the Old Town Police, ambulance, fire crew for their important work at the scene where Dylan Cooper, a 24-year-old university student, lost his life. I also thank the Orono Police for assisting with traffic control. Our dedicated emergency personnel reached the scene in only 6 minutes after a 911 call was made. Those of us who live in Stillwater Village have endured this dangerous intersection. Drivers continue to disregard the traffic lights at this corner. At rush hour, an average of 1 to 3 cars run the red light at every turn, which aggravates turning traffic from Bennett Road in both directions so that they in turn run their red light. We need cameras at this intersection to record, catch, and find these offenders. Last summer, new walk signs were added on each side of Stillwater Avenue. They work, but they do not reduce the danger of crossing there. When pedestrians have the signal to cross, the oncoming right and left turning traffic from Bennett Road also have the green light to cross the pedestrian way. The town of Orono has solar-powered flashing pedestrian signs on College Avenue between the university and the steam plant parking lot. When a pedestrian pushes the button, the lights flash warning drivers to stop. We would benefit from this now. A pair of these signal lights cost $4,521. I have the paperwork with me, and I can give you a check tonight for $1,000 toward this. Perhaps the single most important thing that the town could do today to help pedestrians at this corner is to make sure that access to the signal lights and crosswalk is cleared of snow. Dylan Cooper could have reached the button to request a signal, but he would have had to walk out into the road to access the crosswalk. As of today, there is still an icy bank of snow blocking access to the crosswalk. Stillwater is a residential community with a post office, a park, a recreational center, a grocery store, a bank, a laundromat, a movie, a doctor's office, 8 restaurants, has access to the river for fishing and boating, and a land trust walk path along the river, all within a half-a-mile walking distance. And it has a highway running through its center, making it difficult to safely walk to these places because sidewalks are on one side of the street only or are non-existent. And there is inadequate signaling to safely cross the road. I recognize that this committee, run by volunteers, has many important issues before it, and that I'm not telling you anything new. But on January 24th, a young man with a promising future lost his life, and the driver of the vehicle that hit him will never be the same again. I think our community can do better in protecting its citizens. Thank you for your time and attention. I have paperwork to give you. Can I give it to you or just?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much. I can tell you spent a lot of time thinking about that. Great job.
Well, I've been dealing with this for 30 years.
Yep.
And the one thing I didn't tell you was that I don't walk to, I said this at the last meeting that we had for traffic, I don't walk to the post office anymore because I've been nearly hit so many times. And by the time you call the police, the offender is gone. The last time I called the town office, someone told me that no change will happen at that intersection. No change will happen until something happens, which means somebody gets hurt, and that's happened. And we just can't wait anymore. Now, the people who run those red lights, occasionally if I have time, I follow them legally, because I want to know how much quicker they get to their destination. If you run the red light at Stillwater Ave, by the time you get to Hannaford, you've saved less than 20 seconds. Occasionally I have talked to those people and told them what their running that light does to our community. I think that we can exist with traffic. I think that as long, once this change happens, we have lights that are timed, but it cannot go fast, and the offenders need to be dealt with. Currently, I see police on Benneck Road, and they're very good at picking up speeders. But I've also seen those same speeders drive off and run a red light at Benneck and Stillwater. So it's escalating, and something has to be done. So I don't feel safe, but it's a wonderful place to live. There's a lot there. And I just think something has to happen. I think we're all tired of this. And Dylan Cooper didn't deserve to die. And I'll just say honestly, if he were my child, I would work to find, I would really check to see that if the town is complicit in this. On Thursday evenings at 5:30, you cannot make a left turn. If you're heading toward 95, you're at the intersection of Benneck and Stillwater. You cannot make a left turn legally. There's no arrow there. There's so much traffic that what people do is drive into the intersection, wait for the light to turn red, and then make their left turn. Every Thursday night for the last 10 years, I go to Orono at 5:30 because I have a meeting there. I don't drive that way anymore. I go around, or I pull out of South Spring Street, go across onto Spring, turn on Gould, onto Benneck, and take the light that way. That's the only way you can do it legally. But people are turning on red lights from both directions. So it's a serious thing. And there aren't enough police officers in the state of Maine to catch the speeders there and the offenders. And people just aren't thinking. And something's just got to be done. So that's all I can say. So thank you for listening.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Reports. I have nothing. Standing committees. City councilors. City attorney.
I'll be quick, thank you. I just wanted to update you on the municipal matter. I met with you in the summer, and we had talked about resolving that case, and we will be resolving it by granting him a strip of land and reserving our easement to the sewer, and the easement, work with Bill on this, the easement will be whatever you would typically have for your easement in terms of width and scope of work and requirements to property to its former.
Does everybody know what he's talking about when he says the Mitchell Manor?
There was a fellow in town who had historically gardened in his backyard.
It's on French Island on this side.
And we have a sewer line that runs behind many, many homes down there. But we have been unable to unearth our title to that property. So we are making an accommodation with Mr. Mitchell, whereby we will agree with him that we have an easement to maintain and replace the sewer line that's there, which is really all the property is worth. And if it means having to deal with other property owners in a similar way, I guess we'll have to cross that bridge when we come to it, but that would seem like probably the most reasonable thing that we would end up doing. We had tried to offer that we would deed him an easement, but he wasn't going to do that and was prepared to drag this out. And I just didn't think that it was worth your time or money to drag it out any more than we have already. We've made an exhaustive search to explain title to his property and just couldn't find anything, nor could he, for that matter. So my recollection the last time we met was that you had authorized that type of arrangement, and if necessary, I can wait until your next council meeting to bring you the easement, but otherwise I would just have Bill sign the deed and reserve the easement.
I don't remember if we authorized it or not, do you?
I don't. I'd have to look and see if you
We
did.
probably ought
authorize it.
to redo it so that we're sure if we haven't.
Yeah, let's do that then. So I'll come to your next meeting with
Yep.
that in hand.
That'd be great.
And at your next meeting also, I will come to you with what hopefully will be a substantive update on the 79 Sanford property that we need to get. We had decided that we were going to bring some sort of dangerous building action against this person, an action that would be basically a hearing before this body with witnesses in the form of your code enforcement officer and anybody else who wants to come in and testify differently as to the condition of the property, and you would then make a determination as to whether or not it is a dangerous building and order certain remedial work to be done. There is that opportunity. It's better than going to court over something like this. You have control over that process. However, when you take anyone's property or threaten to take someone's property as a result of one of these processes, you have to make sure you dot every I and cross every T, because we're talking about people's property, whether it's infested with rats or whether it's a dangerous building. It's still someone else's property. And in that regard, we are having a difficult time finding the former owner. I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but we're having a difficult time to actually locate her. If we can't, we may have to actually publish something in the newspaper to satisfy the legal requirements. That's where we're at right
You
now.
don't remember her name, huh?
I don't have that file with me. Does anybody?
Remember it off the top of my head.
That was after Dave Fortier owned it?
Yes, it was. It's a French name, but it's not Fortier. I'll tell you what, in the morning I'll email it to Bill, and maybe he can circulate it, because
Okay.
maybe you'll have some ideas we don't. We have some very crafty people in our office who find people, and we haven't been able to find her. Haven't been able to find her yet. So those are the two things that I wanted to report on tonight. That's it. And if you can be of any assistance with anything else, you know where to
Can I
find
ask
me.
a question? On the property of Mr. Mitchell, are we giving, is he buying the property, or are we just letting him use it?
We are literally deeding the property, a strip of land back
Okay.
of his property to him, basically elongating his property and reserving our easement over it.
Right. Is he happy?
I guess he is. He's not going to bother us with this anymore. Thank you.
Kathy Parody owned the property.
Parody. Kathy Parody.
Kathy
Thank you.
Parody?
Paradis, I believe it is. No takers. Nobody says, "Oh, I know right where she is."
But there's a couple parodies around town I could ask.
If you wouldn't mind,
Yep,
be better than the lawyer calling them up and asking them out of the blue.
yep, sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Special committees? City manager?
Just trying to work through emails and phone messages. The only thing that's coming up Wednesday night, we have another stakeholders meeting at the K-5 school, starts at 5:30, so obviously any council members that want to go there to that. There's a little meal supplied, and we're just getting back together again to go over any of the issues that have been identified to see if we've gotten through our list or need to add to it or what we're going to do next, so that's it for me.
You want to say a word about when we're starting the budget process?
We're just starting to work on it right now. Matter of fact, I'm meeting with her tomorrow to move that stuff forward as quickly as we can.
So as a council, we would be a month away?
Yeah. Yep.
Any other questions for Mr. Mayo? Consent agenda. Items 1, 2, and 3. Councilor Brissette.
Resolved, the Old Town City Council hereby approves the suggested motions under new business items 1, 2, and 3 as presented. Excuse me. Number 1, the council will consider renewing the appointments for plumbing inspector David Russell with his term expiring 12/31/19, and William Murphy as the alternate, again the term expiring 12/31/2019. And on the Water District side, Travis Folsom with an expiration date, term expiration date of March 31st, 2022. Number 2, the City Council will approve the renewal of a liquor license and special amusement permit for Yamas at 268 Main Street. And number 3, the council will consider approving the reserve account recommendations by the finance director as presented in attachment 1.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Take a motion for adjournment.
Wow, yeah, I'll move. So moved.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Who's second?
All those in favor?